Chapter 8, Mishnah 5. As we have learned in this chapter, the Torah tells us the proper order of inheritance. This Mishnah discusses 3 cases where someone attempted to distribute his property to his heirs in a manner different from the one stated in the Torah, and the law that applies to each case. The first case, if someone says, so-and-so, who is my firstborn son, should not receive a double portion in my property, but he should rather receive a share equal to each of my other sons. Or if he says, so-and-so, who is my son, should not inherit me along with his other brothers at all, it is as if he has said nothing, and we do not follow his instructions, for he has made a stipulation that is contrary to what is written in the Torah. The Torah, when it taught the laws of inheritance, decreed that a firstborn son receives a double portion, and that all sons receive shares in their father's inheritance. The father does not have the power to change those laws and decide that inheritance should work in a different way. The second case, if someone who is seriously ill, who has the legal ability to distribute his property to his sons simply by saying to whom he wishes to give his property, was telling his heirs how he wished to divide his estate, and he gave more property to one son and less to another son, or he gave the firstborn son a share that was equal to that of the other brothers instead of a double share, his words stand. Since he is giving out his property as gifts while he is still alive, the recipients are receiving the property as gifts, not inheritance. And the Torah allows a person to give his property to whomever he desires. By dividing the estate in this way before his death, a person can give out his estate however he likes. However, even in this case, if he said that he was giving the property out as inheritance, then it is as if he has said nothing, because a person cannot change the Torah's rules of inheritance, as the Mishnah taught above. The Mishnah explains how we can tell whether the father intended to give out his property as inheritance or as gifts. If he wrote either in the beginning or the middle or the end of his instructions that the property was being given as gifts, then his words stand, even if some of the language he used seems to indicate that he was distributing inheritance, as long as there is at least one mention of gift. Whether it is in the beginning, the middle, or the end of the declaration, that is enough to make us treat it as a gift, and the distribution is valid. The Mishnah's third case speaks of someone who attempts to disinherit his heir by giving his inheritance to a more distant heir. If someone says, so-and-so, a person that is not his child, shall inherit me, in a case where he has a daughter, or my daughter shall inherit me, in the case where he has a son, it is as if he has said nothing, because he has made a stipulation that is contrary to what is written in the Torah. To this point, the Mishnah has followed the view that the order of inheritance as written in the Torah may not be challenged at all, and an estate can be divided any other way only if given out as gifts. The Mishnah now presents a different Tanaic opinion about this. Rabbi Yochanan ben Beroka says a person does have the power to change the order of inheritance prescribed by the Torah to some extent. If he said it about someone who is fit to inherit him to some extent anyway, for example, if he bequeaths his property to one daughter among his other daughters, or one son among his sons, then his words stand. But if he said it about someone who is not fit to inherit him, such as a daughter where there are sons, or a brother where there are children, his words do not stand. According to Rabbi Yochanan ben Beroka, a father can change the laws of inheritance to a limited extent, as long as the person to which he wishes to give the extra inheritance would have inherited something anyway, and he just wishes to give that person a larger share, or even the entire estate. But even Rabbi Yochanan ben Beroka agrees that someone who does not stand to inherit anything at all, because there is a closer heir, may not be given inheritance, except if it is a pre-death gift. The final section of the Mishnah discusses whether it is proper for a person to give his property away before he dies so that his children will not inherit it. If someone writes gift documents that award his property to others and leaves his children without an inheritance, what he has done is done, since a person may give his property during his lifetime to anyone he wishes. But the spirit of the sages is not pleased with him, because it is not proper to leave children without an inheritance. Even if a person sees that his children are wicked, he should not do this, for perhaps his grandchildren will be righteous, and they will be left without a legacy. But Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel says, if his children were not acting properly, that is, they were wicked people, he is remembered for good if he does not leave them anything.